It's time for another Anoraks show episode, and this time, November 30th, 2022, I have with me my good old buddy visiting us from Newport, Rhode Island, Benjamin Hartline.
Now you're making it sound like I'm from Newport, Rhode Island. I take offense to that.
Okay, I meant he is coming from Rhode Island, like he transported himself from point A to point B, meaning he left Rhode Island and now he's here, but he's originally from
Kentucky.
There you go. And in this show, we love Kentucky because guess what? It's the home of the bourbon. So, how was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was great. I had steak instead of your traditional turkey.
Hey, I'm a fan of steak. I am, hands down, been smashing a lot of steak in the past months. Rare, usually, or medium rare. Rare, yeah. I remember good old Taylor used to say, I eat my stuff blue rare. You know what blue rare is?
It's a made-up term.
Right. That's what I always told him, but apparently not to him. Anyway, how's Rhode Island?
It's cold and dark. The people can't drive.
Like, they can't drive or they can't drive?
It's weird because people in New England will be completely inconsiderate while driving, except for times when it is inconvenient for them to be considerate, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So they'll cut you off in traffic, jump in your lane, but if you're waiting to make a left-hand turn, they'll stop in the middle of the busy street to let you turn and block traffic instead of just waiting for you to find your time to go.
So when I was up there a few years ago, I remember seeing a couple roundabouts. Is that hectic up there? The roundabouts are not used properly?
They finally have
They put a couple signs up?
They finally put the traffic lines down on the roundabout in Newport.
Okay.
Before that, it was pretty much a free-for-all.
Yeah.
It's like driving in Europe.
Yeah, we've seen that before. So what are you doing up there for the folks here that don't know anything about you?
What am I doing? Right now, I work with system testing, installs, and integrations for submarine combat systems.
Ah, sounds good.
To help our brothers and sisters in the fleet.
Very well. Do you like it?
I like it. Most of the time.
What's up with the hesitation?
There's parts I don't like.
Okay. Yeah, I think you told me a little bit about that. So, a little bit of our background. I know I've said before, I'm a active duty submarine. Hartline is active duty as well. And we met on our first duty station, the good old USS Georgia Gold. Georgia Gold, Georgia Bold.
We first met, and I was pretty sure that VP hated my guts.
No, folks, come on.
And treated me very badly. Some would say borderline hazing. I'm kidding. No hazing. We don't do that anymore.
No, not anymore.
Nope.
Since, 2020? When COVID hit, they stopped.
Yeah, COVID stopped the hazing, so we can say shout out to COVID for that.
Thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
We miss you because it's gone, right?
Tell China that. But, yeah, and then my two original sea dads were both turns out to be pieces of shit, so I was a sea bastard, and then shipmate Velasquez Perez happily adopted me into his loving arms.
Indeed. We did, and we had great times on board. We were roommates for a while, for about a year, I think, or probably less than a year.
Probably about 8 months.
It was like 8 months. That was fun. We have tons of stories. I don't even know where to start. Maybe as we go in this show, some will pop up. But hey, let's get on to this. What we're sampling today. Today we'll be tasting the Bulleit Bourbon Frontier whiskey, barrel strength. It comes at you at 60.1% alcohol per volume.
Fun fact, you can't fly that on an airplane.
Because it's too high?
Too strong, yeah.
What's the cutout, you know?
I think it's 100.
Okay. So you say you can't check the whole bottle in? Like if I was to fly, I check it in my baggage, they'll flag me?
Yep.
Okay. Good to know. I've flown with a few whiskeys, but I've never checked the proof. And I have this it's somewhere. I have this container where I can stow them and shit, but
Well, you can always just slap a different label on
yeah,
it.
or that.
Who's going to know the difference?
The good old trick. So, well, before we get to the tasting, let the folks see the bottle there for a little bit. Hey, Benjamin, I was reading a news article about how the WHO, the WHO, the World Health Organization, has decided to rename monkeypox to Mpox, MPOX, in English to avoid the stigma and controversial alleged racial undertone of the current name, monkeypox. What's your take on this, man?
Well, first of all, I'd like to ask, has it been fact-checked? And second of all, I would like to know who made this decision, because anyone who would think that change would be necessary is obviously racist.
There you go. But, I mean, the WHO authorized the change.
Who's the who?
The World Health Organization. So I guess the board sat down and said, y'all being a bunch of racists, we got to change this.
I guarantee you that most of that board is made by a bunch of old, pale-complected individuals. Probably not. I'm probably wrong about that, but you can fact-check me.
My take on this, it's ridiculous, like a bunch of shit we've been doing in the past in society. It's still Mpox. It still implies. And I don't even know how monkeypox is racist. I mean, it's just monkeys. Monkeys exist. Whatever. Moving on.
Well, are they going to rename the animal too?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Are they just M's now? What are they? Tree puppies. Little hairy people.
You go to the zoo.
The tree people.
You go to the zoo, it's like, they're not monkeys anymore, son. They're M's. They're tree people.
Do they get to join the LGBTQ community as part of the alphabet?
By the way, I don't know about that. By the way, I was reading something. I think it was, I bought tickets to go to Puerto Rico or something, and some description said LGBTQIA+. What the hell is the IA?
So I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh, so you know about this.
No. This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen lately. There was a case of a woman, a parent of a student, who forced a school to install a litter box for her daughter who identified as a cat.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard of it.
So if you were to be an M, would the school have to have a lunchroom that had a tree with bananas in it and vines for you to swing on? How far are we going to go? I'll take it all the way.
In an area where we all can pick our fleas and
and throw shit at each other? Little Billy just threw his shit on me. He identifies as a monkey, so it's okay.
Did you pick M for male? No, I'm an M. What does that mean?
I can't say.
I'm not allowed to tell you. Come swing by the lunchroom and watch.
It rhymes with hunky.
Starts with an M. All right, hey, let's not lose track here. Let's get back on track and let's read the quote of the day. Quote of the day says, "In a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist. we must be anti-racist. Angela Davis said that. So my take is that somebody that's racist is somebody that knows about racist. Like a knower of racists. Like different races. That's a racist to me.
So you're just saying that they recognize the difference between individuals.
They know, they know where people come from, basically. Oh, Hartline is a white male from Kentucky. I am a racist because I know his race. He's white. A knower of racists. What do you think?
I don't know. I think most of your quotes generally cover the majority of people.
Yeah.
And just like we know it's not okay to rape people, we know it's not okay to be a racist. So I don't really know who this quote... I mean, I guess being non-racist would be singling out known racists, clearing them out. I don't know how that would work because the majority of people know that it's not okay. I don't know.
Interesting take.
I don't think it's that interesting.
No, it's let's move on. Let's do a quick pour and let it breathe for a minute. But I want to comment on this quote. No, actually, I don't want to. Hardline changed my mind. I don't want to change. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's just pour. Hey, you guys seen it? Bulleit Bourbon, Frontier Whiskey, Kentucky Straight Bourbon. My favorite is always Kentucky Straight Bourbons. My top 5 are definitely Kentucky Straight Bourbons. This is from Louisville, Kentucky. Like I said, 60.1% alcohol by volume. Barrel strength, meaning uncut, just straight from the barrel. And this is batch number 7. Cool.
I think that we
Tell me.
spend a lot of time out to sea with a close friend of ours who might have been uncut as well.
Uncut?
A young pierogi.
Good old Barajas. Yeah, do you know anything about him?
I think he graduated college and
he did.
He's doing well. He got his degree.
Yep. You know who he's working for?
Google.
Nope. He's working for the Denver Broncos.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, you remember how he was like the super fan?
He is a super fan.
Yeah. Well, he's the knower of all sports. You can ask him any fucking... Oh, sorry.
The Rain Man of sports statistics.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a cork pop. And like we say, cork pop.
Corn Pop?
He was a bad dude.
Bad dude, man.
Let's see if I can get the mic to channel right there.
Solid.
Solid?
I think it was.
What do you give it? How many decibels do you think that is? 94. Durban.
6 to 17,000 maybe.
High frequency. All right. There you go, sir.
You're not going to pour it for your guest?
I guess I should, but it's too far. All right.
Oh,
Did I throw off your stuff?
there we go.
Hey, going back, now I realize I have more notes about this quote. So, tell me what you think about this. It is not possible to be a non-racist. Anyhow, I think racist should lose its negative connotation. It's like this. A chemist, like I said, A chemist is an expert in chemistry, someone who studies or practices skills in chemical research or experiments. A naturalist is an expert or student of natural history, whether it be in art or literature. A florist is a person who sells and arranges plants and cuts flowers, and yada, yada, yada. Based on these examples of ists, one might think, therefore, that a racist is a person who is an expert in the study of races, their cultures and traditions, and maybe to include etiology of a race.
I don't think it works that way, bud.
No?
No, I don't think that term has ever been used to describe someone who studies races.
Then who is the person that studies races?
I think that the term should be set aside for people who are actual racists and not thrown around so easily. But they're definitely not scientists.
They know something, though, that we don't know.
I mean, there were racist scientists asked the Nazis, but
Yeah.
not every scientist is a racist.
There you go.
There are some scientists who are racist.
And not every Nazi is a racist.
No.
It doesn't work that way.
Well, not
every scientist is a Nazi.
and not every
Nazi
not every racist is a Nazi.
Okay, there we go. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, we're gonna move on from this. Hey, you know what? Let's just get on with it.
You ready? First of all, I'd like to preface this with saying I am not a professional whiskey taster or bourbon taster. I just like bourbon,
Disclaimer.
and I don't speak for the bourbon. It speaks for me. And sometimes it says bad things. So
You're like a ventriloquist.
except there's nothing up my ass.
I'm not saying you were the doll. You're the guy.
Well, you can't. Whiskey doesn't have an ass.
Well,
So there's only one way that
we're
works.
gonna find it tonight. Hey, you. All right. So usually, okay. Do you have a toast? Give me just a quick, whatever. If I was a duck.
Oh, I knew you were gonna, I called that.
I don't know it. If I was a duck, I would swim to the bottom or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
How about, let's see, I've been gone for about a year and a half, so it's been a long time coming. How about that?
Hoo-yah. Well, we just skipped a couple steps, but it doesn't matter because in this show, we don't discriminate and we just do whatever we want. Let's talk about the taste first because that's where we started. I've had it before, I must say. To me, and hey, there's no wrong answers here. Whatever you taste is what you taste. To me, it tastes like hazelnuts or like a nutty flavor. Like, I don't want to say a pecan because that's too sweet, but like hazelnut. I just, it's like nutty flavor and woody, very woody.
You know a lot about nuts and woodies?
Yes, I do. I was in a submarine.
Whoa. Oh, that's fair.
That's fair.
Tripwire. I would have to say when people think 120 proof liquor, they think of the dark times in high school when that's all you can get a hold of when you wake up pissing your pants and puking in a trash can.
Oh,
I can't say that this won't do this to you, but it doesn't taste the same.
right? I was going to say for it sitting at 120.2 proof, it definitely don't feel like that high proof, right?
It's got a little burn, but a happy burn. Makes you feel like a warm hug.
It's like like a mouth hug.
Similar. With a little cinnamon thrown in there. Right? Maybe you and your partner got a little creative and she put a one of those, what are the fireball things?
Oh, Jesus. Like a candy?
Like the candy. Or some cinnamon chewing gum to spice it up.
Oh, God. Or some Bengay.
I don't know about Bengay. That'd be kind of
uncomfortable for both.
yeah. I don't think, I mean.
Hey, Talk to me about the color. What color do you think this is? Give me a solid description.
It's the color of
Your shirt, kind of.
a little bit.
Yeah, like a.
I'd say it's the color of a 50-year-old alcoholic construction worker's pee.
Okay, so not very well hydrated.
Not hydrated.
Not at all. A lot of Mountain Dew and nicotine.
The signs at boot camp would say you need to drink at least 3 canteens. Or possibly go to the hospital.
Losing your kidneys. Hurry up and drink some water. All right. We always talk about the tiers, so we swirl it around and we kind of check the tiers. This has very thick tiers. Like you can see how they don't even go down that fast, which I like. It means it's got all the oils and stuff in there. It tastes good. The aroma, it's strong. You can definitely, if you smell it, you'll. Hey, no surprise. It has a good alcohol content smell. What do you think about the smell? Do you want more? You can, if you need round 2 to be able to answer these questions, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just so everyone in the audience knows, I'm on vacation. He is not. So however much alcohol you see him consume, just remember, folks, he has to be at work tomorrow. I do not.
That's called driving the bus on your pal. Yeah. What do you think?
It smells like it's going to hurt a lot more than it actually does.
Okay. Do you smell anything in particular, like
Vanilla.
Yes, I was gonna say. Damn, I should have said it before you, but whatever. I was gonna say vanilla. This most of the time when we taste bourbons in this show, caramel is a predominant flavor.
Yeah,
probably because of the oak or whatever you want to call it. But this has a strong vanilla smell. It smells good. All right. We already talked about the taste. Well, you didn't say what it tasted like to you. Nuts and woodies? No?
that's a good description.
Yeah.
Not a salty.
Okay. All right. And the finish, we already talked about the finish. It's got good burn. It's like a hug. It wants to be your friend. It invites you in. Well, I say we give it a score. Are you ready to score it?
My score is not going to be fairly weighted
It doesn't matter.
because, as you know, I do sample certain. I sample different things, but just because they happen to be there, not because I'm looking to do it. I'm more of a committed man. I like my Bulleit rye.
Right.
And
You have your preference. That's fine.
yeah. Well, it's my stomach's preference, so I don't shit myself.
Oh, so it's like softer to you?
No. I still like for like a
daily sipper?
that, or
Okay, so if you were to say Bulleit Rye is your... So in here we do a 5-barrel scale from 1 to 5. One is the shittiest and 5 is like the best. So Bulleit Rye would be the 5?
I would give it a 5 for things that I have tasted or remember well enough. Yeah, I put it at a 5. Put this at close, 4.5.
4.5?
4.5.
Okay.
I just like Bulleit. I like any Bulleit.
Okay. But not like bullets towards you. Just like the Bulleit, the brand.
Well, no, bullets that's a bad thing.
Yeah, that is a bad thing.
I think. It depends.
Yeah.
Do you survive getting shot at? Because then you're a hero, and that's pretty cool.
Maybe bird shot.
Yeah, then you got to pick all that shit out of you. It's not fun.
No.
I'd rather take a rifle round through and through than get hit with bird shot.
Yeah, like it just clean entry, clean exit.
Yeah. But like I think I lean more towards Bulleit because it's not as sweet
Okay.
Like you start getting into like Knob Creek, it's a lot more syrupy.
Yes.
And
Caramel.
thicker.
Yes.
It's a lot thicker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
All right. Well, 4.5. Y'all heard it, folks. If I was going to give this, I'd say 3.5. Better than your average. Is really good.
Well, it's reasonably priced too.
It's reasonably priced, but we try not to take price into account because then price just affects everything. So it's just straight off of the taste pretty much. But if you were to include price, yes, the scores would change drastically.
Well, one of our fellow compatriots has been telling me for a while now that one of the best bourbons he's ever had was a $16 bottle.
And I believe it because we actually did an episode. Our last episode that we posted in this channel, people, we did a blind tasting, and I brought in a $9.99 bottle. It's called the Earl Settler.
Was it plastic?
No, it was a screw top though, but it wasn't a plastic bottle. But it's good. It's good. It'll fool you into thinking that it's a $40 bottle, maybe $30
You know that Jim Beam is going to go plastic.
for all their bottles.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because they had a bottling shortage coming out of that region. And I just can't believe that one of the iconic drinks of America would go that was a rumor. I heard that from several different liquor stores in town where I live because they were running out of Bulleit everywhere in town. And I asked them why, and they said they have the product, they just don't have the bottles.
Oh, wow.
So maybe everybody out there can do the bourbon industry a favor and save your bottles, folks.
Right?
Save the world.
Recycle. It helps Mother Earth. All right. Let's see. What do you think about... Wait, what is this? Who wrote this? My little vocabulary concept. Keep in mind... What do you mean? I appreciate... Oh, okay. Okay. We should have practiced this thing. That's fine, because that's what I edit the episode, so it's fine. I can make this work.
No, it's all good because I will say I'll back whatever vocabulary concept you have because I think it's very impressive. I believe you told me when you moved to the States, when you were learning English, you learned it via television and movies.
Well, that was in Puerto Rico, not here.
So in preparation for moving to the States.
Well, not really, because I never knew that I was coming to the States. I just did it as a little kid. I was memorized Nightmare Before Christmas in Spanish and then watch it in English.
So for all those shitheads out there failing Spanish, this young man here learned it by watching Mrs. Doubtfire.
I love Mrs. Doubtfire, and yes, I've seen it in Spanish many times. I like how they don't have, the movie's in Spanish, but there's things you don't have to change, but they still change them. Like when she has her titties on fire, she's like, oh. When Spanish would be like, oh, different. Like,
Whoa.
You can't leave it like that.
We just talked about the use of that word that you just replicated.
Titties?
On the first page.
Let's go back in the script.
M.
I didn't say monkey. Monkeypox? Ooh. Oh. No. That is not what I was talking about.
Good thing that podcasts don't typically have HR departments, or else VP here would be talking to them very, very often.
Yeah, it's happened to me in a few jobs. But I just think they were, knowers of races. All right. So not to diss on Rhode Island, since you live there now and all, but here's a headline for ya. Oh, I like these. Florida man? Well, and here we got Rhode Island man.
Rhode Island man. Let's see.
A Rhode Island man was arrested for passing a counterfeit $100 bill What gave him away? Lincoln's face. It's supposed to be on the $5 bill. Was that you, buddy?
You want to hear something funny?
I actually know who did this.
I do.
I don't.
I was staying in security for the naval station when that happened. I was also, here's a good Rhode Island man. Actually, we'll say a Rhode Island couple story. I won't assume gender because we can't do that anymore.
Nope, not at all.
We got a call at shift change. A military spouse had used their dependent ID to drive for Uber and be able to drop people off on base. This military spouse didn't understand that they're not allowed to escort people onto base, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, if they are transporting people, they need to verify that their fare has valid military IDs if they're adults. These people did not. These people
They didn't have IDs?
were heroin addicts
Oh, God.
who then made it past the gate guard, got into the Navy chalet, and proceeded to shoot up and then get into a domestic dispute.
Oh, God. Tweakers?
So somebody out there was dumb enough to bring their heroin and get into a domestic dispute on a military installation.
You never surprised. You can't make this up, you know?
Tweaker's gonna tweak. Fishing trips and smack.
Always. Yeah, fishing trips and smack. that's we can't bring that story in. I mean, I guess we could, but hey, you know, it's been a pleasure having you here tonight, man. Always great to see you and appreciate you taking the time to sit on the Anoraks show, all right? And to all of our listeners out there, please share your thoughts on our conversation. Oh, my shit just fell off. I pulled a Sammy Lee. He's the one that always has problems with the mic. And my thing, for some reason, decided to fell off the chair, so I'm just going to hold it here while we end this. Hey, to all of our listeners out there, please share your thoughts on our conversation. And if you have had an opportunity to taste this bourbon, give us your score in the comments below. Hey, looking forward to see you all again on our next episode. We don't know what we will be tasting because we like to keep it random. Until then, let's, first of all, final words from you, Benjamin. What do you have to say?
What do I have to say?
Yeah, what do you think about tonight?
I think it was fun.
It's supposed to be.
I think that for all the lonely alcoholics out there drinking by themselves, this is your out to not feel bad about what you're doing. All you have to do is talk into a microphone and record it.
Yeah.
And then it's a business.
There you go.
And not a vice.
Exactly. It's a hobby. I am a bourbon taster.
Yeah.
You mean an alcoholic? No.
A bourbon
taster.
Yeah. I'll be able to monetize this one day. I swear.
All right, well, let's say goodbye with our usual sign off, all right? Hey, some ships are wooden ships, but those ships may sink. The best ships are friendships, and to those ships we drink. May you have fair winds and following seas. Cheers.